Thank you. Thank you. Whew. Okay, so winking. Who here can wink? Yeah, I'm sure probably some of you are winking at me right now, but I really can't see that. So, my grandma, she was one that always, whenever you went to her house, you could always plan on having cookies, but you always got winks of wisdom. These winks of wisdom from grandma would come at different times. You didn't know when they were going to come, but she would say something like, Brian, life's not going to turn out the way you planned. Or things like, don't be afraid to reimagine your life. She would say those things and then she would wink at you. And when she winked, that meant something. So if you would, do me a favor and make me feel at home and wink at me now. Thank you. Now, go a step further and wink to your neighbor. And maybe the back of their head. But wink anyway. All right. Now, if you would, wink at your other neighbor. Keep winking. Well, thank you. So, what does a wink mean to you? Shout it out. Tell me, what does a wink mean to you? Naughty? Howdy. Okay, that's better than naughty. What else? What's that? That's cool. Yeah? What else? It depends on who you're winking at. Very good. What's that? I smile. Over here? Approval. I love it. I heard bedroom. That's all I heard. Okay. Okay, well, that's what a wink means. So, a lot of people I know can't wink. What's funny is, I can't stop. That's my wink. Now, I take pictures with lots of people, and I encourage them to wink with me. When they wink with me, I want them to think, it's this guy next to me knows what makes him unique, and it's not his eye. Because I will attest that what makes me unique is my willingness to share my story. That's what makes me unique. So if this guy next to me knows what makes him unique, and it's not his eye, I wonder what makes me unique. That's why I encourage people to wink with me. I got my wink naturally. My wink came on March 4th of 2011. I woke up and I couldn't see. I stumbled my way to the restroom and I flipped on the light switch. Nothing seemed to happen. I turned towards the mirror and I looked in the mirror. I could see a sliver of light coming out of the bottom of my eyes. So the power was on. But my eyelids wouldn't open. My wife, Connie, heard the commotion and she came downstairs. She was horrified. My face was swollen to twice the size. Imagine this face twice as big. Right? Scary. So I was scared because my eyelids wouldn't open and my face was swollen. And as soon as we were able to, we rushed to the ER. And there at the ER, after hours and hours of waiting and hours of tests in Ohio, by the way, they came and they said, Mr. Wagner, it appears as though the cavernous malformation in your brain. So I have a cav mal that I've known about since 1992. This cav mal had bled. It bled, putting pressure on the nerves that control my vision. Well, I thought I only had one of them, but I've come to find out that I have two or possibly even three. I was flown to Phoenix, Arizona to have surgery. Phoenix, Arizona, of all places, to have a surgery in 2011 on April Fool's Day. No fooling. So I was there at the Barrow Institute. I was there at St. Joseph Hospital having surgery. And they said, the doctor that came, from Ohio said, there's only one person we recommend you going to see. There's only one specialist that we recommend, and he was the Barrow. So I went there, and wow, I'm so glad I did. But that was the hardest thing I've ever been through. Coming back from that, we flew back, and flying back was atrocious. That was a day that I hope I will forget sometime, but I haven't yet. My wife hasn't forgotten either. But the next few weeks were really rough. But I wanted to get back to this person that I met. So the person I met said, the position, the problems you have are only going to become more persistent and profound. Persistent and profound. So I was blind, essentially, and it was going to get worse. That's what I heard. And then I go to see one specialist. That one specialist that I have, has there ever been a time in your life when there's been just one person? Think about that. Is it been a coach, a mentor, a teacher, maybe a spouse, or maybe a parent? Remember that person that helped you to get from point A to point B. And we're going to go into that a little bit later. So that one. Okay, so in my slides, I'm going to have a lot of different points. So if you want, you can take a picture of this QR code. It'll have all my slides at this location, or you can just look at the URL that's up there. It'll have all my slides in it as well. So you don't need to take notes if you want to take notes. Anyway, so that's there. But I had to realize that I needed to come through what I was going through. I needed to be able to go through that dark spot and get to the back to the light. So I had to realize that I wasn't going to quit. And when I went to IBM back in 2000, I realized that I wasn't going to quit. No matter what, I wasn't going to quit. It was in 2000 that I joined there, July of 2000, and I had a large opportunity to work with a company on their storage, their digital storage, back in the summer of 2001. Well, as you remember, in September of 2001, the World Trade Center bombing occurred, and after that, we had a trip planned to go out to San Jose, where we take the customer to a briefing center, and we do some other stuff. We wine them and dine them. But as we're there, I had one job to do. My job was to really lead the presentation. But I failed at doing that. I didn't do a good job. So that made me think, I'm blind. I'm really blind to what it is that I'm doing. So that's why, and that's one of the first reasons of blindness to sight and vision. One of the first occurrences of blindness to sight and vision. And as you're looking at your program, you'll see that my speech is a radical vision. And a radical vision is just that. It's going from blindness to sight and on toward vision. Blindness is where you don't realize what's going on. You don't realize that something's happening to you, like was happening to me at IBM. I didn't realize that I wasn't getting everything I could be getting. And so, from your perspective, has there ever been a time where you wanted something, but you just weren't able to get there? You weren't able to get that for whatever reason. Think about that. And then when you go to sight, you begin to see through your blind spots. As you begin to see through your blind spots, you begin to see that there's something else out there. There's something else you didn't realize that was occurring, and that you can control part of that. So That's blindness to sight. And then vision is when you know your preferred state, your preferred future. You have a much better idea of what it is you're going through and how you can best serve the community that you're serving. So in this speech, you'll notice I mentioned service a lot because my goal is to help serve you. I came here 12 years ago and I didn't know what I was going to do. I was in IBM for a long, long time, and I realized that my job wasn't to be at IBM. My job wasn't to stay at IBM and be an IT guy, sales guy. My job was to serve people. No matter what, I wanted to help people. That's my job. But I had to realize that leaders don't quit, no matter what. Well, I think you can see that as well in your job. Whatever your job is or whatever your daily life is, leaders don't quit. And you're all leaders. Well, like I said, I came back from Phoenix, and my wife encouraged me to go for walks. Now, I had no idea she wanted me out in such treacherous terrain. I mean, look at that. There's ledges on the left and ledges on the right. And then there's the undulations. But those undulations change. Isn't that a fun word? Undulation. Those undulations change when you go down this sidewalk the other way. When you approach things from a different perspective, your experience changes. That's the point that I want to make here today, or at least with this slide, is to help you understand how you can approach things from a different perspective and you'll get a different experience. Now, there was a time where I used to drive after my surgery. Imagine sitting in the passenger seat next to this guy. He's got no eye open. Well, my left eye was open and I was seeing, so I was able to drive with that one eye. But I had to deal with the person in the passenger seat. The deal with the person in the passenger seat was that they would see what I don't see. They would see my blind spots. So, who sees your blind spots? Who sees what you don't see and gives you honest feedback as truth tellers? And you're going to find out a little bit about truth tellers as well in a little bit. So, blind spots is a big thing for us to all to talk about and to understand. So, I want to help you to go from blindness to sight to vision. So, being blind is the first step. You don't have to really be blind. You can be, but it's being blind from a mental perspective as well. Now, you all have little trinkets on your table, and they're iPads. At a lot of conferences, you get different squeeze balls and then things like that. But no, we chose iPads to give out. So those iPads are in regard to a nickname that I got. I'm the youngest of 10 kids. And being the youngest of 10 kids, I got a lot of nicknames. Well, my wife and I, Connie, we were out at a restaurant recently, and the waitress was very nice. They did a great job of explaining everything. But at the end, they said, do you have any questions? And my wife has many questions, but I always have one, at least one. So my question is, what's your name? Because I can't see what her name tag says. She says, well, my name's Sarah. I said, Sarah, that's a beautiful name. Is that with an H? She said, oh, no, we don't waste our ink on an H. I thought that was funny. And then she says to me, mistakenly, she says, well, what's your name? I said, my name is Brian. And I looked her straight in the face. I said, that's with one eye. Like you, she loved it. She went and shared it with her friends and all this other stuff. And that's why the eye patch on your table is Brian with one eye, and that's what I want you to have. And you can put that on. That would really be cool. If you would take it out now and put it on and wear it, you can wear it for the rest of the day. You can wear it for the rest of this session, but give you a glimpse into what I see every day. I hear him open it up. All right. Well, thank you for making me even feel more at home. But what does this all have to do with leadership? I talk a little about leaders and how leaders don't quit. But when I think of leadership, I think of my own kids and their experience of leadership because I get to see it firsthand. My youngest son, Colin, he lives in Denver now. We're going to go see him on our way back to Ohio. I'm not sure if Denver's on the way to Ohio, but it is for us. So Colin was in the cross country, and he was doing a phenomenal job. The coach loved him and made him a captain. Well, the team really made him the captain of the team. So at one of his last races, he said, I really want to go home with my friends. I want to go home with their car because they drove. I didn't have a problem with it. But Connie says, well, Brian, don't you think you should be with the rest of the team? Because he is the cross country, leader. He is the captain. Well, I didn't think about that. But I realized afterward that she was right. He is there to lead by example. So if he can lead by example and be the leader that he's selected to be, he should be on that bus with the rest of the team. So that's why I want to make sure that you understand how I look at this life of leadership. And you all, as brain injury survivors like me, need to communicate your needs. That is a form of leadership. Believe it or not, it's a form of leadership. So I have a brain bleed. This brain bleed happens from time to time. The last one happened in November 2020. And I had impairments that caused me to have a little bit of a speech impediment, which you probably have noticed because you don't know me that well. But I don't drive anymore. I haven't driven in 2.5 years, which is a whole other thing right there, to be able to give up your keys because of that something else is going on. So that's part of it. And then, like I said, my vision is not very good, but I also have my right side is numb. So I do a little bit of shaking on my right side. I do a little bit of, just uneasy. I walk with a cane usually, but I'll be walking on this platform. I'm realizing that I need to stay back from the edge. So you've seen that I haven't gone close to the edge, right, Connie? Right. So I know better than to do that. So there's a certain margin of error that I have. So if you see me coming your way, be worried. Be ready to catch me. I'm only 215, so it's okay. So anyway, that's what leadership means to me, and communicating your needs. If you can do that, then you're going to be very well off. So in terms of needs, we would get together every year for pitchers. And, back in 2011, I had 2 good eyes, just like most people. I really was, quote unquote, normal. But when I went through this experience in 2011, I lost my eyesight. I lost one eye. And I had realized that life is different. But I didn't want to have pictures taken of me. I didn't want this lasting image to stay. I just wanted to be back to normal. And I realized that I wasn't going to be able to be back to normal. My kids, they love me, and my wife loves me as well. But my kids came to me after this picture, and they said, "Dad, we noticed you're the only one we can get this picture. Next year, would you like us to wink with you?" I said, "Sure. Of course I would." So they did it. They winked with me. Now, granted, some of them are better. Look at this. Some of them are better winkers than others. But I'm not naming any names, Jess. So that is one of the ways that I've gotten myself up. I realized that, there's something else out there. I want to be able to share this with other people. So I started to wink. And I wink every day, but I started to have people wink with me. And this guy was one of the first ones. He had a conference. He actually winked with me. And he pointed at me. I'm like, it made me feel kind of weird. But man, after that, I had more people that wanted to wink with me. I went to our local donut shop, and there they winked with me. This is my friend Becca. And then my friend Orlando at another conference, he winked with me. And people love that because they can understand what makes him unique. So this winking really took off. But the best wink I ever got was from my mom. My mom's 83, and I talk to her every day. But my mom, when we took this picture, it was a Mother's Day, and I took her favorite Blizzard. M&M, by the way. I took her favorite Blizzard, and realized that, we didn't have a picture together. So I had my sister Marlene take a picture, and when we did that, I looked at the picture afterwards. I said, "Mom, what are you doing?" She said, "I'm winking." I thought that's what everyone was supposed to do. My mom is a treat. Like I said, I talk to her every day. I talked to her this morning, and she wished me well. She told me I was going to do great. She is she's my biggest supporter. My mom, I can't tell you, she's a walking wow. She's the oldest of 10 kids herself. She had 10 kids, and thank God she did, because I'm here. Thank you. My mom lives on the same 400-acre farm that I grew up on. My mom has 50-some grandkids and great grandkids and great grandkids. You name it, she has all that. But my mom, one time when I was talking to her on the phone, she says, "Brian, I need your advice." I'm like, "What? What? My mom is asking me for advice?" I was like, "Wow, this is cool." So my mom says to me, she said, "Brian, I'm going to a sex party." What? I'm going to a sex party? She was accurate. She was going to a sex party, but not the kind you're thinking of. She was going to a gender reveal party. I said, "Mom, you may want to rephrase that." But she wanted to know what to bring. I'm the only guy to ask about it anyway. So that's my mom. My mom is the best. So anyway, I also work at the IELTS School for the Blind. At the Ohio School for the Blind, there's lots of different kids there that they have 60% of them have issues beyond just visual impairments, but they, like you probably read the quote before, how you can sometimes go to the mountain, but sometimes the mountain comes to you. Well, the mountain came to them, and they've done such a phenomenal job. If you can be with those kids and see those kids and students be able to grow and get over the humps that they have in front of them, I mean, it's absolutely amazing. We can all do that if we can dare to try. So, I think of all the achievements that they have in front of them, or achievements that they have because they've gotten through so much. It's been phenomenal. So anyway, their persistence paid off, and they now have a platform of really understanding that they can do so much because they know their purpose. They know what they're doing. So that's probably the most important thing that I would say when it comes to working with the kids at the School for the Blind. So my job there, I'm the after school program coordinator. So I have many things that I'm responsible for. There's lots of different things, but in the end, they're just kids, and we need to make sure that they really understand that they're kids, and then they can go beyond that. So they will try to take advantage at times of their visual impairments, realizing that they can do this, realize that they can get one over on most people, but the people that know them best know better. And I tell you, working with the students at the School for the Blind has been really one of the most rewarding things that I have ever done. But as I mentioned to you, going from blindness to sight to vision is something we do at the school as well. We'll go from blindness, where you can understand that there are things happening that we don't know about, that we don't see. And then when we have sight, we can see through our blind spots. And then we have vision, we can have a vision of our preferred state, our preferred future. So this is my gift to you. And really, it's an e-course that allows you to go from blindness to sight. So it walks you through the first two steps of blindness. So having said that, that is my gift to you. But then I also want to make sure that you understand that what's going on with me. And if there's any medical professionals in the house, I'd love to have you look at these slides because this is my brain right today. You'll notice that the brain on the slide on the left is the slide that I have in the past, and the slide on the right is the slide that I have in the now. So it was December of just last year where I had this slide taken, and in my brain stem there is additional wear and tear. I'm not sure the right way of saying it, but additional wear and tear that has happened because of my cavities malformation. They have been in there, they've bled. So, that's just part of me. It's part of why I stumble the way I do. Part of the way I triple my words. Part of who I am. So, having said that, there's so much to know when it comes to all brains, all people that are surviving with brain injuries. And I think the better we know those people, the better off we are. Because if you can have that understanding of who you're talking to, as opposed to just looking at them and saying, well, that person, they have something else going on, I don't want to talk to them. If you can understand who they are and understand the person first, you'll be much better off. So, back to persistent and profound. My message has become persistent. I talk to people quite a lot all across the country, as you can tell, and I'm persistent in my message to them. It's to be able to help them to go from blindness to sight to vision. That's persistent and profound because I'm still doing what I'm doing. I'm not persistent and profound from the way they looked at it when I originally had the diagnosis, but I'm persistent and profound because I know my purpose. I know my message. I want to be able to help other people. And hopefully, what I've done here today has been helpful to you. It's been helpful to make sure that you understand, helpful to make you understand, helpful to get you to understand how your message is persistent and profound. There's so many things that you have inside of you that will make your life better and the lives of other people's better. But the one person that made my life better, you saw in a picture a little bit ago, and that was my daughter. She was 13 at the time that I had surgery, and I was lost. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know my purpose. And we talk a lot about purpose, but purpose means a lot. To know why you're doing what you're doing. Well, my daughter wrote me a letter for Father's Day that year. And it's a letter that I have with me, but I don't read it anymore. I have it memorized because those words have been so impactful. This is Jess. And she said, "Dear Dad, Happy Dad's Day. I hope you have a great day because you definitely deserve it. All the cards and TV commercials always say, my dad's the best. But they're all lying. You're the best ever. Sure. Other people's dads are great. They're younger than you. They're sportier. And they're funner. Like you, I'm beginning to wonder where this is going. But she goes on. But you've got something that other dads don't have. Bravery. Even after everything you've been through, you still go to bed in the morning. You still joke around and play with us and go on the grill. Even though you only have half of one good eye. But you do more still. You teach me. You teach me that even though you go through the toughest, most grueling things, that if you just believe that God is right there with you through everything. Believe that everything turns out okay in the end. You'll make it out alive. Not as unscathed, but alive. And give me that hope, that sense of belief. Well, I'd pick that over Dad with two good eyes any day. Love, 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 Jess. When's the last time you received a letter like that? I know what you're thinking. Brian, I've never received a letter like that. I never had that experience. That letter is once in a lifetime. And it's been once in a lifetime. It's been so much to me and to our family. So, I'll turn it around. When's the last time you wrote a letter like that? That's my challenge for you today. That's my challenge for you, is to write a letter like that. Because that letter, if I can get the words out, that letter makes a difference in the lives of other people. And they are then charged to go out and do the same thing. They're charged to go out and do what you've just done. So, again, we always say, we're going to do this. We're going to write this letter. I know my friend so-and-so, they deserve to have that letter. They deserve to know what they've meant to me, what they've done for me, who they are, who they're going to be. But then we leave here, and we leave this conference room, and it's all gone. Well, today is a different day. Today, we're going to write that letter. That's my challenge to you, and also giving you the opportunity to write that letter right now. So get out a pen and paper, get out your iPad or your phone, whatever the case may be, and write that letter while we listen to a really nice song, and a song that was made for me. Because I have another friend, I don't have many, but I have another friend where he wrote me a song, and I don't have my, do I have this? I don't know if I have this plugged in or not. So, anyway, so this gentleman wrote this song about me, and he helps me to understand that I will do so much to help the world if the world can know how to go from blindness to sight to vision, and to write that letter of encouragement. So I'll give you 5 minutes, starting right now, and then I'm seriously going to talk to you in a minute. So 5-minute countdown, and we'll go from there. All right? If you have any questions, let me know. I'll come see you, and I have 11 free books up here that I'll give out to anybody with a question. Thank you. Go.
If I am worth the task.
In one book, the task at hand. Yes, the task is to write a letter to that one person you thought of earlier, that coach, the mentor, the teacher, whatever the case may be, that helped you to get from point A to point B. So that is who you're going to write that letter to.
We got a question over here.
Okay. What's your question? You have a question?
Yes, my thumb started.
This is a great question. Brian, what is the hardest part of going from your own healing to sharing your journey with the world? That's a huge thing. We saw Travis's video. That's hard to do sometimes. How did you get comfortable sharing your own story?
For me, I had to go through a lot of dark times as well. I mean, some of them I've shared with my wife. Some of them I haven't shared with anybody. But there are dark times to get through. And what I need to do, and sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. But if I would focus on what brought me joy, that really helped me to be able to get through that dark portion of time. So one of the things that I do to focus to bring me joy is I take naps. So that's part of being a brain injury survivor, is to take naps, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I encourage all of us to be able to do that. Was there another question, Terry?
She said, do you ever encourage survivor if they can't write a full letter to maybe just make it hard for other survivors pay it forward that way?
Absolutely, yeah. So any small act of giving is one that is important. Just like writing that one small card is a small act. Okay.
Everybody had survey. If you don't find it, count the surveys too. And if you look on the back, there's 2 surveys that are marked with an X or a door prize. You have 2 wonderful door prizes. Surveys on your table. You did it. Yeah. Anybody have a survey? Anyone need a survey? Just flip it over on the table with your thumb. Have survey in it. Here, hub. That's the eye. You're Sweet top. Bubbly. Oh, interest. Ryan, we have a question back here. Probably is great. We'll have an eye on my process that you even nerve gut.
How am I healing my brain? Resting a lot. My wife probably gets annoyed because I like to sit down and rest. I like to take naps. I like to sleep more than I probably should. But I think that's the best way to take care of my brain. Reading right is another thing we try to do. Sometimes we do that better than other days. But those are all important things to eat right, to get rest, hydrate, do all those things. All right, ready? Okay. Thank you all very much. I know Carrie has some other announcements she wants to excuse me, wants to talk about. So having said that, thank you all.